95% coming. And he said, you just can't stand that. He said, you have to write your own work and teach. He said, you just can't. He said, it all sounds possible. And he said, you just can't subject yourself to that. And he said it in just a matter-of-fact way, not meaning it as a put-down or as a as a commentary of saying he's important. He just delivered that kind of in a matter-of-fact voice. You know? So then McLuhan was 68, and McLuhan gave this talk at which I think was probably one of his most important. It was called Environment, Anti-Environment. It was done at, I think it was Vision 65, probably 65. Yeah, Vision 65 at Southern Illinois. And he told me it was going to be an important conference and I should go. And I did. And when I was there, he offered to introduce me to Buckminster Fuller. And we went to his office, which was just over a little barber shop and donut shop, Dunkin' Donuts, like about as big as this room. And he wasn't there, but we met a man named John McHale, who assisted Fuller in all his work and wrote a fabulous review, one of the best ever on McLuhan's work, called Man from Masscom in the Canadian Architectural Review. And we went to the Dunkin' Donut shop for a cup of coffee. McLuhan had never met McHale at that time, and I hadn't either. And McLuhan told a story, a joke to McHale about, and myself, about a man who was in a bar with a glass eye, and the glass eye kind of fell out of his eye and into someone's cocktail. The guy drank it, thinking it was like an onion or whatever, and went to a proctologist and was bending over, and the proctologist said to him, "What's the matter? Don't you trust me?" Because there was this eye staring out at him. And McLuhan, without missing a beat, just went on to talk about the differences, that this illustrated the difference of audio and visual culture. So this is quite early. So then, of course, I read him, I taught him. I once gave a course at Rice that was called 10 o'clock Mass Comm, because it was on Sunday morning, at a kind of free university that included all the universities in Houston, Rice, University of Houston, University of St. Thomas, and so forth. Then I started a media center, not based on his principles at all, but at the invitation of a millionaire in Houston, and John and Dominic DeMonil, who were great collectors of art. John Culkin asked me to become a member of the Center for Understanding Media. And so when McLuhan was in New York, I saw him fairly often, and Holly Parker and Ted Carpenter. And Ted Carpenter eventually married one of the DeMonil girls and is still married to Adelaide. So I've always kind of known them independently and then together. So then I talked to him on the phone and saw him, visited him in Toronto several times, and never thought of writing about him, but then I did write an obituary, which Mrs. McLuhan at the time said it was the best thing ever written on him, so whether it's out of date now, of course, completely, but I wrote it for the Buffalo Evening News at that time, with the Sunday paper, and then that was it. And only recently, because I've been so disgusted, of course always was, but I thought someone would come along and correct and say something intelligent about him, and actually read what he wrote. No one really has, and it gets worse.